This video will be for the ribbed neckband. So for this one, you're gonna need one front bodice and one back bodice. Ignore this note, that was for myself or something else, but just one per sample for this. So these will both be cut out of your moderate fabric, and then you're also going to have your neckband that will be cut out of your ribbed fabric. For this one, we're going to begin by stitching our shoulders and our side seams right sides together. So we'll place those two right sides together and pin those, and then we will go serge them on our regular 4-thread serger. To prepare our neckband to go on our piece, we are going to take this and fold it wrong sides together to match up that angled end. And then we will stack those on top of each other. And we're going to serge at 1/4 inch this diagonal edge. Once you have your shoulders and your side seams serged and your little neckband prepared, then we're going to go ahead and pin these two together. So the first thing we need to do is find center back of our neckband. So just fold it right on that serged seam. And at center back, I'm just going to mark and put a pin. And then I'll do the same thing with the back of my neck so that I can match those up when I'm pinning. Now I'm going to flip this right side out so I can put these right sides together. And I can start by pinning those two landmarks together, or to each other. So center front to center front. So tip of that V to the tip of the V on the neckline. And I'm just going to put that serge over to one side, typically to the wearer's right. And then I'm going to do the same with that center back. So match that center back up and pin through there. Then I'm just going to evenly spread out this ease. You will see that your ribbed band is smaller than your actual neckline. That's so that it hugs our body as it's being worn. So I'm going to kind of stretch out my band until I get it to meet my neckline, and then I usually kind of just grab that middle portion and start pinning that so that I have it evenly spread. So you'll have to stretch as you serge that on. You should have about the same amount of ease in each of these 4 quadrants. You may put one extra pin right in your shoulder just to make sure that your shoulder stays folded towards the back as you serge over it. I like to do that as a little reminder to myself when I get to that point to not forget to look for my shoulder seam. Okay, now we're going to take this over to the serger again and serge those two together. Okay, over at our serger, we're ready to serge this ribbed binding onto our neckline. I like to typically start at one of my shoulder seams. I'm going to get this all the way under my serger foot so that I don't have any slippage as I get started. And then we just need to pull this ribbed binding so that it lays flat to the edge of our neckline. Make sure that you've really got your neckline even with the ribbed binding. If not, you have only got a 1/4 inch seam allowance, so it is easy to get holes in your neckline if you don't have those properly lined up. So again, just stretching my ribbed neckline enough to get it even with the length of my garment, not stretching it extra to where the garment is actually stretching. Make sure that as I cross that shoulder seam, it's still folded over to the back. At the center front, since this is supposed to come to a point, I like to actually serge off the edge of that point and then restart on the other side so that I get a really nice point at center front. Okay, now when I flip that up, I should have a nice pointed V-neck right there. My seam is gonna get, I'll tie the ends of my serge right here. I usually don't tie the ends of my serge if it's gonna be crossed with another seam, but this little vertical seam at your neckline will not be crossed. So I'm gonna tie those to secure it. There we go. Okay, so your seam allowance can get pressed over to usually the wearer's right. Sometimes you'll even see that stitched down, like a little top stitch here, just to keep it folded over, but that kind of depends on the aesthetic of that designer. And then we would just gently press this to get a nice smooth line on our neck. So that is our ribbed neckband.